Hello out there, Moms for Liberty folks. It is Sherry Garrett. I am your current chapter chair of Knox County Moms for Liberty, and I am excited to bring a lot of things to you today. Well, actually, there's not a whole lot going on, but at any rate, um, just a few things I want to go over for this month. The newsletter has been released. If you have signed up for the newsletter, it should be in your inbox. I sent it out yesterday. If not, I can't remember if I published it in the Facebook group. Anyway, if I haven't posted it, put the link in the Facebook group. I will put the link in the Facebook group shortly, and that way you will be able to click on that, read the newsletter, and hopefully sign up and be able to receive it in your inbox. And also you feel free to pass it along to anybody that you know that might want to know what's going on with our schools, and because I'm looking at what's going on nationally, like statewide and locally. So I want to, to make sure that we're all getting the information that we need in order to make informed decisions about our children and our grandchildren and students in Knox County schools. So without further ado, I'm going to go here and I'm going to share my screen. Until I get all the equipment I need, I will be using this Zoom format in order to do that. So start off with our Knox County Board of Education. Um, they will be meeting next Monday for their work session at 5 p.m. at the Summer Place Boardroom, which is on the corner of, I want to say, Walnut and Summit Hill. You can park in the Market Street garage or on the street there and walk over. Um, The agenda is supposed to be published today. It has, as you can see, not been published yet, so I will be looking for that later today, and we'll be sharing that in our Facebook group after as we preview it and find out what's going on with what's coming up on the agendas. If you have any questions about resolutions or anything that's going on, you can hit the public notices, and this will let you know. Like for example, yesterday. Our Board of Education Chair Betsy Henderson met with Superintendent John Roswick yesterday to set the board's agenda for the regular meeting, which will be Thursday, September 11th, which will be the voting meeting. The September 8th meeting will be a work session, and no votes will be taken at that meeting. So there were likely other board members in attendance. Do not think that that is actually recorded. It is publicly noticed and publicly attended, but I do not believe that particular one is recorded. I have not found any recordings of it. You can also look through here. There'll be other notices set in here. You will have to go here in order to find out what public notices are going on. But if you notice up here at the top, there's a few things. You can click on their administrative procedures to find out, um, what the policies are on various things like the inclement weather as fall and winter is coming up soon. To know that policy is a really good idea. Also resolutions, they pass a lot of resolutions, and I've heard some of them say, oh, I don't like passing resolutions, but they just recently approved the application for the Emerald Charter School to continue with under the authority of the Knox County Schools. So this one thing with charter schools, if they are implemented in Knox County, if the board approves that charter school, then they have purview over that school, and they can, I don't want to say manage it because it has their own board that manages the school, but it does fall under the guidance of Knox County Schools. If they deny it, the charter school can go to the state, and that will remove all authority from Knox County Schools or any other local school if that particular board does not allow it to be in in their county or their district. But there's others supported dyslexia screening, um, where they chose, even though they did not support the Education Freedom Act of 2025, they decided to participate in it so that they could get the bonuses for their educators and teachers and support staff. I believe it's only teachers though. At any rate, there's different things going on. Their board policies are a little bit different than administrative procedures. So, and as we're looking at this, I mean, we see District 1, all of the districts here. If you will look, there are several seats that are up for reelection this coming year. District 1, Reverend Butler I do not believe is running again, as I have been at a meeting where he has said he has accepted a position in another state. He is continuing his residence here until he serves out his term on the board. And he did not say specifically he would be moving, but he will be overseeing several churches in that area in that state. So I anticipate that he will not run again for reelection and that he will be moving to either I think it's North Carolina that he's planning on going to. We also have District 4, Catherine Bike, who is up and speaking as Moms for Liberty in the fact that she has not supported our agendas. She has adamantly not supported removing explicit books from the schools. Yeah, we need to replace that one. I'm anticipating she will run again for reelection. So we need to find a good person in District 4, and we'll be going over what the districts are in future videos. But District 4 right there will be running for re-election. District 6, Betsy Henderson is terming herself out. She has already run for has already served for 2 terms, and she will be not running again in District 6. As many of you know, she is currently running for our county mayor. And at this point in time, she has my full support in doing that. Also, District 7, Steve Triplett is up for re-election. He's already informed me that he does plan on running for re-election. Currently, he has no opponent, and I am fully in support of Mr. Triplett serving again as our school board representative for District 7, which is my district, which is the Halls Powell High School area. District 9, Christie is up for re-election also. This would be her 3rd term if she chooses to run again, and I believe she is. She does have a primary opponent in the upcoming election next year who I have vetted. We will be going through application process and interview processes for all of the school board members. We will be sending them out questionnaires. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle, if they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, doesn't matter what side of the aisle, they will all receive questionnaires to fill out. And if they return those to us, they will be vetted through an interview process. And then if they would like us to, we can go through the endorsement process through Moms for Liberty, which is the national, there's a national process for that. So we will be looking at that. Those are the only seats that are currently up for re-election. That would be, again, District 1, District 4, District 6, and District 7, and District 9. We need to hold a majority on those seats so that we can protect our children, because Mr. Triplett and Ms. Henderson are the only ones that have actually stood up and helped protect our children in removing these explicit books. Ms. Christie in District 9 has waffled back and forth. She has not fully supported removing these books. She has stated that she doesn't believe they should be in our schools. However, made statements such as, I don't think children are storming the libraries to check out these books. And honestly, it doesn't matter whether they're being checked out or whether they're not being checked out. The fact that they are available in our schools without parental knowledge or consent for students to check out or go in the library and pick out and read, or go in the library and take and do a book report on them in school, is incomprehensible and is actually now against the law. So, that being said, let's move on. I'll skip over the resolutions. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of stuff going on statewide yet. We have our legislative committee that is going to be gearing up pretty soon to look at our legislative priorities. So our Knox County, we will be sending out surveys in the group and via email to those. We have email addresses for on the surveys on what you believe our legislative priorities should be for this upcoming year. We have managed to get laws passed on removing the inappropriate books from our school libraries. However, we now have found an issue where some of the teachers are using them in their curriculum. They are assigning some of these books as and have been for several years. The Kite Runner was one that we came across last year, and that was removed from the public school libraries. Yet there was teachers in the advanced placement classes that was using that particular book for students to do reports on. They did give parents an opt-out, but they just didn't opt out, and that was with a generic phrase saying that may be some offensive material or something like that in there, but it didn't specifically say what that was. So unless a parent checks it out and reads it themselves, they're not going to know that it was very explicit with sexual content and violent content. So we would like to think about getting strengthen some laws to include curriculum in the classroom to be included in those inappropriate materials. So that being said, we're looking at other things such as electing our superintendent. We're looking at strengthening some of our laws on the books as well as coming up with some new. So we would like to find out what our legislative priorities are, what our Knox County parents and teachers and students feel like our legislative priorities should be in Knox County. Sorry if I'm stumbling a little bit. I don't have a I don't I don't have an outline of what I'm doing, just kind of winging it here. But just please bear with me. So we will be gearing up very soon. There is a group of us, one from each county, Knox, Blunt, Wilson, Williamson, and Hamilton counties are all meeting. We meet weekly and go over our legislative priorities. We contact our legislators. We work with our legislators in getting these bills um, filed and supported in any way that we can. And there may be other bills that come up. We look at all the education bills that are passed. There will be bills that we actively do not support, and there will be bills that we actively support. But we do want to focus mainly on our priorities in getting some legislation passed that will support our students and support our kids and support our parental rights as parents. So, that being said, let's get to some fun stuff. Um, this is coming up fast. We have 1 month until Freedom Fest 2025, October 4th, 2025. It will be at the Tate and Lyle Performing Arts Center in Loudon, Tennessee. It is a great fun time. Kids are absolutely welcome. They're going to be having bounce houses, fun things for the kids, kids activities. They'll be having some fantastic speakers. I'll scroll down through here and let you see some who the speakers are going to be. Jeff Cobble, David Clements, Representative Monty Fritz, Kathy Harms, Amy Miller, Kathy O'Brien. Amy Miller is strong in the Maha movement. And interestingly enough, our focus in Moms for Liberty on the M4L Academy is Maha. And last week's episode talked about school lunches and what things are in those, as well as many other things that are going to be coming up. There will be another episode today. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Joe Oatman, Pastor Arthur Pulowski, I actually got to meet him. He was a fabulous speaker. He was a pastor in Canada who was put in jail for refusing to shut down his church during COVID. And Pastor Ken Peters and Dr. Denise Sibley, among many, many others. There's also going to be some musical guests. Sarah Williams, Mark McKay, Walker Wilson, Five Times August. If you haven't heard any of their performances, check out YouTube. There's a lot of great stuff on there. There will be vendors, there will be food trucks. Moms for Liberty Knox County will be having a booth at this Freedom Fest. So I encourage you all to come and check us out and check out many of the other booths and food trucks, fun things that are happening. We could use volunteers to help us man the booth. As I am also part of Knox for Liberty, which is part of TCGC. Moms for Liberty Knox County is also part of TCGC as a sponsor. So it's just going to be a great time, and I encourage everybody to attend. Here's some of our other amazing sponsors: that Tennessee Farms Association, Tennessee Citizens for State Sovereignty, and it's Viral Media. So it's going to be a great time. Tickets are on sale now. Please go to tcgc1776.org and click on the tickets to get your free Invest ticket. If you would like to be a sponsor, if you have a business or an organization that would like to have a booth, they are still actively seeking vendors who would like to have booth space there. It's anywhere from $25 to $200, up to $500 if you want to be a stronger sponsor. So the higher the level, the more tickets you get. We have 6 free tickets. We already have at least 4 of them that will be used for, I'm sorry, 3 of them that will be used for those who are volunteering to help man the booth. So we could use some more volunteers. If you guys are interested, please give me a call. Reach out to me on Facebook or email me at momsforlibertyknoxchair@gmail.com. So now let's get over to some of this other fun stuff. There we go. All right. Moms for Liberty. If you have not checked out Moms for Liberty's videos, right now going live, the price we pay for gender ideology in schools is going on right now with Scarlett Johnson for Moms for Liberty Unplugged. It is a phenomenal podcast, and I encourage everybody to watch this one as well as the many others full of information that we have. Here's the M4L Academy that I talked to, the school lunch food fight with I can't remember her name, Dr. Tracy Stroop. Um, just absolutely phenomenal. And there's so many other things going on. The campus briefing that was video, the Fire of Liberty show. There will be another episode, I believe, today. It might be today. At any rate, if you haven't watched these are phenomenal. This lady right here, who is, what's it? She's former gymnast Jennifer Shea, will be speaking at Summit. So we'll get to Summit in a minute, okay? I'll get to that. Um, but there is a lot of really, see, here we go. There's Summit. Let's listen. Anyway, there's a lot of really, really good information on there. Are your kids using Epic in school? I can guarantee you Knox County Schools is using Epic. I'm doing a dive into that right now. I will let you know. It also talks about the restorative circle for cyberbullying and sexual harassment. So these are very, very, very good videos that will help you with your students, okay? Um, there are videos from the summit from last year from the speakers, President Donald Trump speaking, Rob Schneider, I mean, just Glenn Beck, just phenomenal speaking engagements from last year's summit. If you haven't watched these, I encourage you to take a few minutes, listen to them in your car as you're driving, listen to them while you're cleaning the house, just whatever. It is so much information, and it's such good information, and it's really going to arm us in the future to protect our children, to encourage our teachers, because we need to have relationships with our teachers. So I encourage you, start from the bottom up. Get a relationship with your child's teacher, get to meet them, get to know them a little bit. If there's any issues, go to that teacher and talk to them about it. If that doesn't work, go to your principal or your vice principal, talk to them about it, express your concerns. If nothing happens then you go to the administration. Just take that, go up through the chain of command with that. Go to the administration, go to the superintendent. And if that doesn't work, you've exhausted all the resources, then you go to the school board. And you can always contact your school board representative. If you have any questions as to who your school board representative is and you're not sure, go to kgis.org and I will show you that. If you go to kgis.org and enter your address, let's just enter for this one here. I'm just going to throw this here at random. This particular one, if you click on that little notepad there, and this, I don't know who this person is, but if you look down here in your voting precinct, you are in County Commission District 7. So your school board representative is Steve Triplett. That's the same district I'm in. I think I know where that road's at too. um, anyway, and that's your voting locations, your high schools, your state house, state senate districts, as well as your county commission school board districts. So it's fully informational as to what you need to know, when you need to know, who you need to contact if you have to go through your school board member, if you need to talk to your county commissioner about anything, and before you go up to higher levels. Okay, so back to Freedom Best. Let's go back to Moms for Liberty, but there is just so much information in here. Now let's go to the national page. If you guys haven't heard about it, Summit is happening on October 16th through the 18th. There's going to be so many speakers. They're releasing the announcement slowly, so I'm kind of a little bit jealous. Just found out that Byron Donalds is going to be speaking at this. We have Real Voice America, who's going to be providing our visual video stuff. It's so much information. I will be going. I was blessed to to be able to go. And I do have the time off from work. So I've already got my ticket. I've got my hotel room. I'm planning on driving down from here. Yes, it's going to be about a 10-hour drive, but I'm okay with that. So also, I will be speaking. Let's get out of the sharing here. Stop share. Okay. I will be speaking at the Kingsport Republican Women's Club next Monday, September 8th at I think it's 6 or 6:30. I have to be there at 5. So to set up and to eat and things like that. They're providing my meal. So I will be speaking at that engagement. I am free to speak at any other engagement if you know a club, a Bible study, a women's group, a men's group, that I can come and talk to about Moms for Liberty and what we do, because we do so much more than just showing up at school board meetings and reading books. We do so much more than just that, and show up at school board meetings and protesting, or show up at school board meetings and emailing our school board representatives. We're all about relationships. So we need to build relationships with our students, our children, build relationships with our teachers, build relationships with administration in your local schools that you're zoned for, as well as building relationships in the administration and with our school board members. So we're all about building relationships. We're all about protecting parental rights, unifying education, and empowering parents at all to fight for their rights at all levels of government. That in, from the national, which Moms for Liberty National is fighting for, they're doing a great job fighting on that national stage, to the state level, and our legislative team is working hard every week and every month at fighting for our rights and getting bills passed that will support our parental rights and support our education system to the local level, which is our local chapters, so that we can fight for our rights, your parents' parental rights, your students' educational rights. They deserve to have a good education so that they can be successful in their careers when they graduate. So that's what we do on the local level. There was so much more than just showing up at school board meetings and speaking out. That's all there is to it. So if you have a group, a Republican women's group, any other kind of women's group, Bible study, anything like that, that is willing to listen, I'm more than happy to go. I have a presentation already. I'm working on my presentation for the event, because I'm working several different, because there's time frames. I get 30 minutes to speak there. I might have an hour to speak at another meeting, 20 minutes to speak at another meeting. So I'm working on different presentations to focus on what's the most important in educating people about what we do. All right. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at Moms for Liberty Knox Chair. That's Moms for FOR, not the number, FOR Liberty Knox Chair at gmail.com. You can always reach out to me on Facebook, through the group, through Messenger, anything like that. So for that, I'm done for the day. If anything more pops up, I will be back on and sharing and letting you know what's going on. And as soon as I find out when the agenda is released and what is being passed at our local school board meeting next week, I will let you all know. For that, you guys have a wonderful day, and God bless.